Hey guys, what's going on? Matt and Sean here with another weekly installment of what you need to know. Real estate, Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, tri-state area, nationally. Kind of what's been going on from last week to this week. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
First and foremost, 2026.
I can't believe it.
I know. I'm ready. A long week, 2 weeks with the kids, and ready to get things going with work, and looking forward to different markets. Kind of what we want to go through, and you had a lot of talking points on this subject. We talked before about 2025, what happened, what we project into going into this new year, but in particular, what you have a whole team behind you that you support and supports you and do really well with buyers and sellers. So what are some talks you guys have been having? I mean, you had some really good ideas and thoughts of what's going on this year.
What we've been seeing in the last couple of months with our listings is not the typical turn and burn where, house is on the market, you put a sign in the ground and you have multiple offers in a couple of days and things are selling way over asking price. Mm-hmm. I have more listings sitting on the market now than I've had in probably 10 years. Wow. And they're on the market for a long time. And so what I think we're seeing is with the affordability of where things are right now is maybe buyers pausing. So sellers, the conversation I'm having with my team is that sellers we need to have different conversations now with our sellers. Okay. It can't be when we're listing a home, the expectations are that we're going to put a sign in the ground, we're going to have an open house on a Sunday, and we're going to have 50 people through, and we're going to have 5 offers by the end of it. Yeah. That's not happening right now. So what I'm seeing is maybe in the Lehigh Valley and Western New Jersey, we're starting to see what the rest of a lot of the other rest of the part of the country is seeing, and that's a slowdown in activity. Okay, right. I think we've reached this crest. Yeah. Of where the market's going. So the conversation's got to be different with the sellers.
Would you call it like a shift or a beginning of that shift?
I think it's a beginning of shift. I mean, we still have. Listen, there's still not enough inventory, right? We know that, but we've been very lucky in the sense that the average time on a market in the Lehigh Valley for the longest time now has been about a month and a half of inventory. Yep. And a normal market is between 5 and 7 months. So think about that. Yeah. We've been at a month and a half, 2 months, and a normal market being 5 to 7 months. Right now, there's some areas of the Lehigh Valley. I'll use Catasauqua as one. Okay. We were, for 6 months ago, it was 2 months of inventory. We're up to 4 months of inventory in Catasauqua. Wow. So that's doubled.
That's a big jump.
It's a huge jump.
Yeah.
Still a seller's market.
Sure.
But just not the expectation of, hey, it's going to take us 4 months to sell. Yeah. It's not going to take us a month and a half, 2 months to sell. Mm-hmm. Right? So we have to prep our sellers differently. We also have to prep our buyers differently. Another conversation that we had is, when we're meeting with especially new buyers that are coming into the market for the first time, the conversation doesn't have to be, hey, these are what you got to do to win. Yeah. These are what you have to do that you might have to do to win. You might have to go over asking price. You might have to, consider waiving inspections. You might have to, put more money down in a mortgage. Yeah. We could literally, right now, we're getting to the point where we have homes on the market that have been on the market for over 60 days. You could write offers again.
Yeah. Be competitive and normality. As you're talking, I'm thinking like back to somewhat of a more normal, healthy. I am seeing this too on my side. It's just echoing what, as you're talking, I'm thinking like I had 2 offers that went out. Both of them, one had a smaller seller assist, one had a 6% FHA seller assist that went with it, just to go through. Now they have to do the appraisal and things like that, but those were very rare. A year or 2 ago, forget that. Right. You're not seeing that house also sat for a little bit of time, and there's some nuances. Every house will be different.
The crazy thing is too that realtors. I mean, there's so many new realtors in the business every year. Like we have so many new people that come into the business. Yeah, they don't know anything different. Yeah, right. So teaching, on my team, I have a couple of 3 very new agents. Mm-hmm. In the business less than 2 years. They don't know that market, so now I'm having to teach them. Here's how you write the offer. Here's how you present the offer. I spoke
Yeah.
about presenting offers in person now again,
Yeah.
where we will meet with the listing agent and their seller, right, their client, to present our offer, and in hopes to, instead of just presenting an offer that's on a home that's $500,000 and we're coming at 450,
Yeah.
just instead of just presenting it and saying, okay, give us an answer,
Yeah.
why we're coming in at 450, right?
Yeah.
This is what the market's doing. This is what the market's saying.
Wow. And it also, I mean, sometimes they have projections or people thinking of, and I get on the loan side of things, people like, from what they see on the news, being, and you hit on it earlier, being like geographic, like things in Florida, for instance, certain pockets are much different than here. So getting the national media coverage too, staying regional. The Lehigh Valley still, inventory wise, and still people like the Northeast. I saw in one of the articles that came out a couple days ago with inventory and hotter markets. The Northeast in general is top of list. All those areas, we don't fluctuate as much as other markets. And to your point, we'll have like apexes where we'll start to hit and kind of crest and go the other way, but it's not mountains and valleys, right? Like you'll see in other markets go through.
Yeah, and we're we don't normally do we're always a little bit behind of what the rest of the country does, what the larger markets do.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I think now, for the longest time, we didn't have an issue. We didn't have any issues. We put a home on the market and sold.
Yeah.
But now we have to, look at things. So the message to sellers is, listen, you're not going to get the multiple offers on your home. You can't price your homes, right? You can't price your homes to where you think it's going to go up here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I put a home on the market and today the true value of that home was $500,000, let's price it at $550,000 and we're going to get $600,000.
Yeah.
We can't do that. And in order for you to sell your home and to sell it quickly at a fair number, at the right number, you got to price it at what it's worth.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now at 3 months. When we start reaching 3 months, 4 months of inventory, you want to price it at what the home is worth.
Gotcha.
Right. In a different market, as inventory continues to grow and we hit that 5 month mark or that 6 month worth of inventory, then you're trying to beat the market to where it's going.
Gotcha.
So then you gotta start listing them lower than the value.
So strategy, meeting. It resonates. I had Chris Lewis in from Cross Country. We did a collaboration, mimic the same thing. And to your point, people that have been in it a long time, like you have and I have, getting back to basics. Like this is the way it should be done.
Yeah.
And that's where and teams that have newer agents to teach them. This is the way it's going. It's just not put the sign in the ground and go.
When was the last time we had a negotiated deal?
Oh yeah, I know.
And now I feel like we're back to that.
Yeah,
we're back to that. And what's funny is I'm not seeing it. We have 8 listings currently that are on the market, and we're not getting a lot of activity. But the activity that's there, like the feedback that I get from the agents that are showing it are, well, they thought it was overpriced. Okay, so write an offer.
Yeah.
If you liked everything about the house, but you think it's $30,000 overpriced, give me an offer. Let's negotiate.
Yeah.
Right.
That's almost like it should be like a T-shirt. Let's negotiate. Like you're exactly right. People think it's like, well, I can't, because in their mind they're used to the sellers won't take it. Maybe it's something you go in there and start to work the math and work the numbers. I mean, on the mortgage side of things, for going as much as the projections of that, I feel going through, they had Neil Kashkari on yesterday on CNBC. He was saying when he's one of the voting Fed presidents this year. Now we're going to have a new Fed president. Right. Powell will be out. They will most likely elect in the administration someone that's more rate cut friendly. But there's still a committee that has to vote on those things. So even if we get a couple cuts in there, again, the bond yields do what they do outside of whatever the Fed does to a degree. So the rates will stay stable too. So this all sounds positive for activity. You and I had a talk about a 14% increase in activity this year from last year, which is fantastic, 2026. So maybe this is all playing into that. The negotiation, the coming back, the buyers coming back into the market, the rate stability. So it's all positive factors really going through.
Absolutely.
Do you feel, I did want to ask too, do you feel price point wise there's a difference? in terms of like if you have a $200,000 listing versus your $500,000 listing? Are you seeing that a little bit too?
The higher price homes are more lagging than others. So for instance, in Lower Saucon Township, in the price point, I think it's over $700,000. We have 8 months of inventory.
Yeah.
Right. So for every home that's on the market, it's going to take 8 months to get them all off the market. That's a long time. That's a buyer's market.
Gotcha.
In that price range. So the higher the price range, yes, the slower the market is. The hot market, it's still 300,000, 350,000, or 250, something like that.
Yep.
If you look at those numbers in Allentown or Emmaus or whatever, anywhere in the Lehigh Valley, anything that's priced in that $300,000 price point, 350, they're still moving.
Yep.
There's only a month and a half of inventory of that stuff.
Okay.
So, but that's normal. That's the higher price points are going. There's less buyers. There's always been less buyers for that higher price point home. What we're seeing also is because of the affordability index, the higher price buyers, the ones that are typically buying $700,000, $800,000 homes, are settling for less. They're They're starting to look at that $500,000 home, $600,000 home, in order to keep their monthly payment down.
Keep it where they want to be.
Because let's face it, you could get a nice $600,000 home. You don't have to spend $800,000 to get a beautiful home.
Yeah, and the tax bills that go along with that and everything else with those higher priced homes. So if you're looking at those higher priced ones, for sure, it's a great time to get in. See what you can do.
It's always a great time to get in.
Yeah.
The message I want to give to everybody today is don't just assume you're not going to get a home because you feel like it's overpriced.
Yeah.
Right? Negotiate. Talk to your agent, talk to your lender, and see what kind of package you could put together that makes sense for you to present.
That's a great first year. This is the first cast of the year. That's a great message, and I can't say more enough about that because it's missing. I'm not seeing that where it's the mentality.
Right.
That's the shame.
We got to get back to that.
Awesome. And as we wrap up here for next week, you have someone very special coming in. Not that no one is, but who do you have coming in next week with us? Who's our guest?
Next week we have a real estate champion in the from the Pennsylvania State Senate, Senator Nick Miller.
Nice.
Awesome. He is phenomenal, huge on real estate issues, huge champion of real estate. In fact, I just did, and we'll get into it next week, but I just did I was part of a Senate hearing, Democratic Senate hearing down at a university down in Reading, and it was terrific. And I got to testify against to the Senate Democrats about what is needed in the housing market.
Wow.
So I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about that, things that they're working on in the Senate to address the housing market and inventory levels and affordability and stuff like that. A lot of good stuff came out of it. It's going to be a great meeting, so make sure you tune in.
Next week. We'll have that one out, and I'm really looking forward. That's where this is a little bit different than everything else because with Sean's connections and what he does, we have a little bit more lift the hood and really dive into legislation that's going to help or hurt depending on what it is. But again, informing, letting everyone know the real estate of really what's going on. That's huge. So tune in for that, guys. Happy 2026.
Happy 2026.
Excited to get back. Thank you. We'll see you guys next week.